Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Welcome to today's Hatsubon and Obon Service. My name is Hiko Shimamoto, and I'll be your chairperson today. Sensei will now explain the Hatsubon Service procedures.
Good afternoon. So for today's Hatsubon service, we have representatives for each of our families, and they have been asked to come up and offer incense here during the readings of the names. So today we have four names, four people that we are honoring. So I'll call the names, and please come up to offer incense. Jean Akiko Nakano Nomura. Jean's Buddhist name is Shaku Shotoku, in praise of love and respect. Helen Kimiko Yamanaka. Shakuzen Kyo, teacher of virtue. Reverend Zuike Taniguchi. Shaku Zuike is Sensei's Buddhist name. Kenji, passion. Shaku Myo Shin, radiant spirit. These are our Hatsubon names and representatives for this year. I'll explain a little bit more about our Hatsubon service during the Dharma message today. So thank you all very much.
We will now have Sambujo on pages 24 and 25, followed by the reading of the Hyogyakumon, purpose of the service.
Hyogyakumon. 26, we gather to express our gratitude to all things and we're made to see. Special way more and fulfill in this moment of meditation. We remember our loved ones. We express our love and we endeavor to listen to their voiceless voice of the Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
We'll now have sutra chanting, Sambutsuge, on page 79.
Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Please stand for the Gatha Obon Obon, its festival day, on pages 186 and 187, and remain standing for the reading of the three treasures on page 8.
Three treasures on page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great disciples of Buddha and be free from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Reverend Fujimoto will now share a Dharma message with us.
Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Kind of nice to have a change of pace and to have a afternoon 1 o'clock service. So especially after all the busyness and excitement of yesterday, seems so quiet today. We had all the music and noise and greetings to all our friends from everywhere. So it's always nice to come to the Obon festivities, and I think it makes it all the more impactful when we have the festival on Saturday, and then we come to the Obon and Hatsubon service today, Sunday, and so we come to the full spectrum, all the happiness and festivities to coming to recognize people we lose in our lives. So the full spectrum of life and death is what we are confronted with. And I think it's a very poignant pause for us to come to that point. So I think getting ready, maybe Thursday, the last practice that we had here, was talking to Howard's daughter. I said, "Does it look like it's okay? Is everything in order? Is your father still smiling?" I said, "Yeah, it's okay. I think we're okay." And I told her, when I wake up in the morning singing Maneki Neko, then I know I'm getting pretty full of having Obon, and all the festivities and all the practice and all the arrangements. So nice to get to be able to breathe calmly and slowly on this Sunday. So I think in particular, really appreciate that. One of the things, not everyone was here, but at 5 o'clock we had temple talk here, and a few people came in. Some of our newer members were here, and Troy was here, and Jane, and what's his name? Damien, huh? He's like 8 or 9 years old, maybe 9 years old, and his grandma were sitting down, and so I asked if there's any questions at all, and try to keep it informal. If there's people from out of town or something, I try to have them introduce themselves, but everyone was local and had seen them a number of times before, so I was asking him, asking everybody, do you have any questions about the setting here and questions about Buddhism? And so he's the first one to raise his hand, right? So maybe 9 years old, and he's looking, so what do you see? And he's asking about the fruit offerings, right? And so I told him about the offerings, but the way he asked the question, he's like he realizes it's symbolic, but what is the deeper meaning of the fruit offerings, and how come the oranges are on top? So he'll have his own observations, but at the same time he's kind of bridging, right, the symbolism to the reality of it. And that's a good question, very deep question. So, and then explaining it, trying to make it fun, and things that we've offered at other temples, and farmers who, my dad grew onions and potatoes all his life. Can we put those up on the altar instead of fruit? So, sure, oh, sure. Mom used to like Twinkies and potato chips. Can we put those up there? So, oh, sure, oh, sure. And he's kind of laughing and giggling, but at the same time, he's processing all this, huh? And so these were really good questions. He's asking about other things that he saw on the altar, the animals on the incense burner up here, the urn kind of looks like a lion, or it looks like a bull, depending on what angle you're looking at, explaining about the dragons, one mouth open, one mouth closed, and we don't really look that closely, huh? They're kind of like considered guardians of the Dharma, the truths of reality. So sometimes they look very fierce. And in Japanese culture, the dragon open mouth is ah, the first letter of the alphabet, ah, and the closed mouth is the last letter of the alphabet. So every possibility of human expression is symbolized by the dragons. And I told them about the smoke. When you light the incense, and if it's a very calm room, the smoke just drifts straight up, undisturbed, and you could just see the wafting smoke coming up from the incense. But if someone opens a door way over there, and the incense smoke will and change, right? So he's listening, and then all of a sudden he's talking about air particles, yeah. And his mind goes off. He has this scientific inquisitive mind that he's interpreting in all the things that he's learned about already. And so it was really interesting talk. And the others, they could hear from these questions that are could be simple but not so simple, right? And asking about this and trying to make sense of it all. Just symbolism of the Pure Land, at the same time trying to transfer it, make it meaningful to this life, everyday life. And this is our own puzzle too. This is what we come to, trying to not just intellectual learning, but to have it make sense in the totality of our being, in our hearts and mind, not just our hearts, right? So after he had asked his questions, and I kind of we're at the end of the half hour, and one of the older women here was asking, "Oh, I'd like to know about the history of the temple and this and that," and asking some questions about earlier days, and those are good questions, but in comparison, I thought, God, how boring. I don't want to talk about history, right? And told she wanted to know about education and things like that, what the ministers go through and where we learn. And I told them we have a graduate school in Berkeley, and she just assumed that it was part of UC Berkeley. And yeah, I went to UC Berkeley, and I know all the buildings. And so, which building was that when? And I don't want to talk to you anymore. So it's time. I guess we got to go now. So yeah, because of Damien, it was a very interesting sharing of what happens here at the temple, what we have here, and how do we interpret it. And so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So that was early on. As soon as we finished, there's rumbling and people going upstairs to change and getting ready for the Odori portion of it. And before anything started, I came out and Hiko waves me down and said, "Oh, Sensei, this lady over here was looking for you." So he pointed her out, and there's only a couple people here at the time. She had come all the way from Los Angeles, right? And had stayed. Her daughter had a brand new baby boy. And so she spent 3 weeks at their home in Oakland and flying out last night. So she came to look for me. And 2 years ago, when I had uh, this same Hatsubon talk, my cousin had just passed away in Los Angeles. Senshin Temple. I had gone down there for her funeral service. And so Wendy, who was here, uh, her husband plays with Kinnara Taiko, and they're very active. They're like Tom and Howard of their temple, doing all the things and keeping people organized and so chairing services and this and that. And so she had come up here and hadn't seen her since my cousin's service. And so she was here saying hello, hello. I gotta can't stay long. I gotta catch a plane. And I told her, your niece is coming too. Oh, she didn't know. She didn't even call her niece who lives in Livermore. So the Livermore person, I had done her mother's service. Uh, and they were Sacramento members. And then she moved to Livermore. They have this little uh, winemaking operation, growing grapes and uh, a few acres of wines and wine grapes and all this stuff. And so she was wondering what would it take to have a Obon in Livermore. So she was wondering if we could talk and maybe assist in doing that. She even had a date in mind in next month. So, well, I was thinking a little bit further down the road. I can't commit my temple or the members to come and do a Livermore Obon in August. Oh, but she and her daughter came, and you know the timing was just right that they got here in time before Auntie would leave for the airport. So they got to visit. She got to see the little baby, and uh, lived in Oakland for quite a few years. We really like Alameda. So I said, yeah, pretty soon, a couple of years, they'll be old enough for our Dharma school. And yeah, so they're looking for a home in Alameda. If anybody has an empty house, let me know. Okay. But all these connections come forward as we come into the Obon. There were so many people here, lots and lots of little people. One that we saw as it was getting more crowded, he decided to play in the pond area, and he's picking up boulders like this, trying to crack them, or trying to do bowling across the bridge and all these things. So I had to go out there. We can't be doing that here, okay? And he just stares at me. And Sharman had told him before too, and he just stared at Sharman. And I say the same things. Did you hear me? And he just looks, no, no response, no reaction. Lean forward. Did you hear me? Finally, yes. Good, good. We can't be doing that here. Okay. So all these little people, I mean, there are so many, more than usual, right? And just the crowd that double circle, and one of the monitors didn't work. So when we got to the dancing, it's like we're all lost in the woods. So when we get over there and then we come and like the lights on Sensei, and then we see her and we know what to do all over again. So that part of it was like a sigh of relief soon as you could see the Sensei, Odori Sensei over there. So all of these things are so much fun. Okonomiyaki, yakisoba, hot dogs, hamburgers, tamales, all these things are going on. But at the same time, all our families had Obon lanterns and names of people they have lost through the years. And there's all these uh, Chochin lanterns that we see here, very specific name, each of the families, and we have a map so the families could find exactly which ones are mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, and all these people, relatives. And so it's so touching to each person, right? And as we dance, they could dance and they sense it a little bit more. Right now, I'm under my mother, my brother, whoever the name is for, right? And so, even though we're having this festival, music and dancing, but here we're being touched here, right? And so, this is the spirit and the idea of Obon, and Hatsubon is all the more the 1 year between last year's Obon and this year's Obon, where people lose someone dear in their families. That first year of mourning, everything is so close, and it's not so easy, right? We can get through the day, but there are moments where tears might just start flowing, right? And we're not ready. Maybe we take turns swinging from strong to weak. One day I'm not so strong, and I could use someone else, lean on their shoulder just a bit, just a good friend, maybe a sister, maybe a brother, somebody, right? And other times I'm the strong one, somebody needs my support. And so we bend from this one thing to the other, right? And go through our grieving processes, but we do it together. And one of the very deep appreciations that I have of our temple. I I love funerals because it's so meaningful and touching. And I think we do a funeral in such a beautiful manner that guides people to acknowledge the loss they go through, at the same time through the chanting and the words and the guidance, we are able to connect with the family and, as much as possible, assist in their journey to shift from grieving eventually. It lasts a long, long time, and we never really get over it, but but the grieving eventually changes to gratitude, and we learn, we recognize a deep, deep appreciation. The people we lose become our teachers, our guides, our bodhisattvas, our Buddhas. and they are the gateway to us connecting with this infinite reality that we call Amida, right? And this process of awakening, right? And so as we go through this, I think, yeah, for me, it's beautiful. You know, I can't think of another word. Very beautiful. And as we go through the Obon festival, you look here, 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 so many different people that, oh, these people lost their mom. It wasn't that long ago. These people lost their mom. Just wasn't that long ago, or their dad, or their brother. Right. So we always talk about the Kamakura restaurant that we wish we still had, right? And we see the son David sitting there. He came to Bazaar, but I didn't have a chance to say hello. But he was here again during Obon, and he's not one of the dancers, but he sits quietly to the side and taking it all in. And I'm sure he is touched as well, right? And we are touched to see him, recognize him, remembering the good old days when his mother, Faith, was here and serving gochiso at the restaurant. And we remember all these things and we connect to our friends, to the community, and all of these things happen. So we are able to recognize the story, the meaning of Obon every year. And the actual story, we shared in our program. There's a little bit of it. These programs were passed out yesterday, and some of it just a little bit about the story of uh, Obon coming through the Ulambana Sutra. And in this sutra, even the song we sang today, it mentions Moggallana many, many years ago. So Moggallana was one of the disciples of uh, Shakyamuni Buddha, and he lost his mother. So he was one of the, uh, he had like extrasensory perceptions. So he had this sense of being able to read the different realms. And when his mother passed, he thought she was a great mother. She cared so much for me. I would like to see where is she in all these different realms of being the heavenly realms. So he's looking, trying to imagine, picture her. Which realm would she be in? Surely she was such a nice mother. She He would find her in one of the heavenly realms and looked all over the heavenly realms and could not find her. So he looked in the other realms, lower realms, and he couldn't find her. And wondering where could she have been placed. So couldn't find her in the state of the heavenly beings, looking at the states of humans, fighting spirits, beasts, and finally he saw her in the realm of hungry ghosts. Okay, so one of the hellish realms down there. And some of these descriptions of uh, Buddhist hells, uh, it's not part of this story, but I always remember one of the descriptions of a hell where everyone is so hungry, just starving to death, but there's plenty of food, and they each have chopsticks, but the chopsticks are too long. They could pick up the food. The chopsticks are too long to feed themselves, and they're too greedy to feed someone else. So all they have to do is pick up some food and offer it, and they would get satisfied. Someone did it, I would get satisfied. But we're so greedy, we don't share, thinking about ourselves only. These long chopsticks, plenty of food, starving to death, right? And these kind of images that they have. And so Moggallana, found his mother in one of those states of hungry ghosts. And he thought he could send food offerings, just like Damien's questions about the oranges and apples and fruit offerings. And uh, he thought he could send that to her, but she couldn't eat the foods, just like the hell I was talking about. So Moggallana went to the Buddha. What could I do to help save my mother? Have her move to a different realm? So the Buddha advised Moggallana, have a feast and share it with all the disciples, share it with the Sangha. So just like we go downstairs after service and we share food down here in the social hall, just giving freely to all the disciples that are gathered. So he made this big feast and invited everyone, help yourself to eat. And then they all participated. They're so happy to have this food and enjoying the food that he had provided. And he looked again for where his mother was, and she had been removed from her hell up to a heavenly position. So he was so happy that he and his friends jumped up and started dancing. And this is said to be the beginning of our Bon Odori. Okay. It doesn't have my stamp of truth to it, but it's a beautiful story that he was able to assist his mother and to move beyond this selfish, self-centered realm and self-centered perspectives that all human beings get trapped in, and to through sharing, through awareness, to be able to assist all others to live a better life. So, with this beginning of Obon, we have the dancing, plenty of food, festivities, and then we come here and we remember those we have lost. We chant together, all our various voices becoming one. We eat together, we sing together, all of these things. We listen to the Dharma, we watch, we look at the altar. What is the meaning of all of this? What is the meaning? And through that, we remember. Each of us remembers who we lost. My mom, my father, my wife, my child, my grandchild, all of these people that we lose, and through them we have meaning and depth in our own lives. So we come to recognize how precious my time is, right? So this is the story of Obon. So I'd like to read one quote for you. Please join me in Gassho. Jodo Shinshu does not look upon Obon as the time when the souls of one's ancestors return, or that the services, offerings, dancing, lights are for the benefit of one's dead relatives. It is rather the time to remember and honor all those who have passed on before us. It is to appreciate all that they have done for us and to recognize the continuation of their deeds upon our lives. Obon is a time for self-reflection, an important Buddhist practice, for it is only when man becomes aware of his imperfections and insufficiency, in contrast to his ideals, that religion becomes a matter of personal concern. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma message. And I'd also like to thank all those who worked very hard, so hard for the wonderful Bon Festival we had last night. Please stand for the Gatha Ondok-san on page 220. Hey, we have some acknowledgements. Thank you to those who helped with the altar preparations and with the service, Reverend Dennis, YouTube with Morgan, and Flowers by Jane, and our organist Lenny, and to the ABWA Toban Group number 1 for preparing the refreshments for today. Are there any newcomers or visitors today? Please stand and introduce yourself.
Hi. Bonnie Sweet's former wife of Kenshi Passion.
Thank you and welcome, and please join us for refreshments afterwards. I have a number of announcements, so please bear with me here. Next Sunday, July 26th, is the family service and Ask Reverend Dennis session. And maybe Damien will be here too. Sunday, August 2nd, is the Shotski monthly memorial service and atomic bomb memorial. We'll be displaying the Tsuru cranes on the temple gate. Sunday, August 9th, is the Sochoki Bishops Memorial. This service is to honor the former bishops of the BCA who have passed away, and also Renyo Shoni Memorial, or 8th Gomonshu, referred to as the second founder of Jodo Shinshu. And it's also birthday Sunday, and our guest speaker for that day will be D.I. Lewis from the Berkeley Buddhist Temple. August 16th and 23rd, there's no service, a summer break. And on August 30th, also no service because it would be the 5th Sunday. Going on now until August 25th is the Chris Tomine art exhibit, which is celebrating the temple's 110th anniversary. It's at the San Francisco Japantown Gallery from Monday to Friday and the first Saturdays from 12 to 5. And the exhibit includes a 20-year retrospective of past Buddhist Temple of Alameda Obon and Bazaar posters. And then we have the ABW clothing drive on Saturday, August 1st, Sunday, August 2nd, and Friday, August 7th. August 7th will be the clothing drive drop-off days from 11 to 4. So any gently used soft goods, clothing, linens, beddings, as well as shoes, handbags, and suitcases, please place them in a garbage bag, boxes or suitcases, and there'll be a drive-through to drop them off at the temple here. So are there any other announcements? Joyce?
Our temple's 110th anniversary is coming up September 13th. If you wish to attend and be part of our otoki, you can reserve a bento. We have a vegetarian choice or regular adult bento, and we do have choices for children. You have a clipboard that I will have passed out in the hall during the social hour. So if you want to sign up for your bento, please sign up for it. And it's complimentary to our members. And if there is a fee for non-members, but if you wanted to join, it'll become complimentary for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you for attending today's Hatsubon Obon service. Please come forward to offer Oshoko and join us for refreshments afterwards.
Yes.